Before I got here, I was recording the sound of reverb and echo in the clawfoot tub in my house, and that's like part of my job, to like record the sounds of the bathtub and then use them for something. I really hope people think this is a cool job. This feels like a cool job. Hi, my name is Justin Geller, and I'm an audio and lighting designer. I have a really cool job, and I can't wait to tell you why. An artist or a company will approach me about a job and they say, we have this really great idea, but we don't know how to technically make it happen. So what they do is they ask me to help them plan it out and plan all the really difficult technical parts. I love my job because I get to do cool stuff with cool people. No one ever calls and asks me to do something that's not cool. Almost every single person calls and asks me to do the coolest thing I've ever heard of, until the next person calls me and asks me to do the next coolest thing I've ever heard of. And usually the people that I work with are great people and cool people. I work a lot with the same people. I work a lot with my friends. You know, if my 14-year-old self could see me now, he'd be super psyched. I was a weird kid, and I mean that in the best possible way. I was curious about everything. Whenever I was interested in something, I tried to learn as much as I possibly could at whatever the subject was. When I first started making music, I was interested in electronic music, and there wasn't a lot of people to learn from around here, and there wasn't an internet to take, lessons or tutorials on, which I love now. YouTube is great for that stuff. I went out and got Keyboard Magazine, which is a magazine about pianos, but mostly about synthesizers and that kind of stuff. And I would buy Keyboard Magazine, and I would read it cover to cover, and I memorized the whole thing. And then I would get another issue, and I'd read it cover to cover, and I kept reading it until I understood everything that they were talking about. And that's something that I still do. I did it as a kid, and as an adult, that's something that has never stopped. I went to high school at St. Augustine Prep in Richland, New Jersey. In high school, I had a band with my friends, and it was great to just hang out on weekends, play music, and goof around. But if you're in a band and you're young and you don't have any money, you have to learn how to do all the parts of being in a band by yourself, because you can't afford to pay anyone else to do it. If you want to make an album cover, you'd have to use Photoshop and learn how to make that so you can make an album cover. If you wanted to make a video backdrop for your show, you'd have to learn how to become a video editor. If you wanted lights, you'd have to learn how to control lights. I was the guy that wanted to learn all those other aspects. I went to Drexel University in Philadelphia, and I studied film and video. When I was in college, I met my friend, Lars Kreslins. Lars inspired me because every morning he got up and he worked on 10 different things. He had 2 bands that he was in. He made his own magazine. He was in clubs. We were on the radio station. And he showed me that life is meant to be doing as many cool things as you can possibly do. I originally started out realizing this was a career when a friend of mine, Matthew Callanan, asked me to meet with a curator named Paul Farber, who runs this organization called Monument Lab. They had a series of public art projects, and they had an artist, Emeka Ogbo, who was doing an audio-based installation in Philadelphia. And I met up with Paul, and he explained the project, and I said, yeah, this seems like something I could do. And I started explaining, okay, yeah, we could do it like this. And then he started talking to me about other projects and other artists. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. If that was me, I think you could use this type of technology and use this type of thing. And he said, hey, do you just want to work on all of these audio-based projects? And that's when I realized that having just a general knowledge of technology and audio and all these different things was beneficial. I always thought that I had to be really, really good at one thing. And then I realized that you can be pretty good at a lot of things and have a career doing that. I realized I was in the right career when my friend Ricardo from Clip Collective asked me to come work with them. I'd done mostly audio projects, and he threw me into a lighting project without a lot or any experience in lighting. And I learned very quickly how the project I was working on was set up, and I could think of a lot of different ways to improve on it as I researched it and got more interested in what we were doing. A few weeks later, the project that I worked on was being set up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and there was a technical problem, and Ricardo asked me to fly down to Scottsdale and help prepare this project. It was very exciting because until a few weeks before, I never learned how to even work on those things. And now I was flying across the country to help fix something that had gotten damaged. A lot of times people talk about a thing called imposter syndrome, where you think you're doing right, but you don't feel like you're ever good enough. And the fact that I went down there with not having a lot of knowledge, and 3 days later I left with the entire project repaired. For the first time, I think I finally felt like that maybe I kind of knew what I was doing. I'm very lucky because my workspace changes every day. I spend a lot of time in this room working on things and planning things and playing around, but the best part is that I get to travel. So I've done projects in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall, Crystal Bridges in Arkansas, Grounds for Sculpture, did a project at the Nashville Zoo. The tools I use vary from job to job. Sometimes I use LED lights, sometimes I use theatrical lights, sometimes I use speakers for audio, we use projectors, and the computer is the core of everything that we're doing. And there's lots of different specialized software that we use. We use a program called Mad Mapper, which is good for projection. We use programs like Logic Pro or Ableton to arrange the music that we're going to play in some of these installations. One of the programs we use a lot is a program called Touch Designer. You can make it do whatever you want. If you want to do videos, if you want to do lighting, if you want to do audio. The great thing about it is the non-commercial version is free. So if you have a computer, you can use this program to make pretty much whatever you want. The most fun parts about my job are the problems that come up that need to be solved. It's fun planning a project and it's fun making it and it's fun seeing it done, but it often doesn't seem like it's fun when the problem comes up. But after you solve the problem and you learn a new thing and you can kind of help yourself in the future, it becomes the most fun part. Oh, it works. All right, that's cool. So yeah, if you look, the room's completely black and white now. Now that I learned a lot of things, one thing I really try to do is just help people with any advice and help people with anything they can. I think people get scared to ask other people, especially people they don't know, for help. But people like me and a lot of people that do what I do are very enthusiastic about what we do, and we love our jobs and we love the things that we do every day. And you might think, oh, this person doesn't know me, this person doesn't want to talk to me, but there's a very good chance that person will talk to you and give you any advice you need because they love what they do. Advice that I would give is always be learning all the time. If something stirs something in you and something makes you excited, then be curious about that topic and be always wanting to learn about that thing, because if that topic makes you excited, then learning new things about that topic is going to make you more excited every day. Thanks for watching, and I hope that I've inspired you to find a cool job that you can love for life.